Hello, ECED 401 students. This is Professor Zavala Martin. I'm going to give you a quick tour of an exemplary teacher research proposal, which you are being provided a link to. This is stored up on our Google Docs site. So you can see this student has a cover page and it has all the proper information, and it is written in APA format that is double-spaced, Times New Roman font, centered. Then she moves on to her first page. There's no need for an abstract in this assignment. You can add one if you wish, which is just kind of a summary of the whole thing. But then she writes teacher research proposal in non-bolded font, which is kind of like what you do sort of as chapter headings, and that's fine. You don't have to. You can just write introduction. The introduction word is her first heading, and it is, as all her headings are, this is done in APA format, which means centered and bolded. APA format in terms of writing means that you're using level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. headings, and that you are double spaced, 1-inch margins, Times New Roman font, 12-point Times New Roman font. So that's how this is written. You can use this, you can download this and use this as your template. Because she did a great job on it. So the introduction describes her practicum site and the child study, and in this case she decided to not continue on with the child study and work with a different child, which is totally fine. You are able to use whatever problem you want. Problem statement, also written in APA format, and in the problem statement she's really specific about a particular problem with drop-off and pickup and the child having trouble with the transition. So that's what you want there. First question is based on her problem, which it should be, and it starts with how could, and it asks a general question that is specific at the same time to the problem. How could I support Harry's behaviors during drop-off and transitional times? The literature review, let's just say lit review for short. In this lit review, she does it in a really elegant way, which is the strategy I'd like to recommend to you, where she doesn't list each of the articles with the title. That isn't necessary in a lit review. What is necessary is that you cite, and you can see that she's using APA citations here. Sometimes she has page numbers, although not quotations, but sometimes you want to use page numbers when you're referring to something really specific, even though you're not quoting. So what she does here is that she talks about the particular strategies from each article that are going to apply to her problem. She doesn't try to summarize the whole article. She just brings out strategies that are relevant to her research, which is what a lit review is. So this lit review goes on for 2 pages, which is exactly as long as it should be. It can also be a little bit shorter. If it's shorter than 1 page though, or like a page and a half, it probably isn't going to be covering everything you need to cover, but she's really specific about strategies that she found in the lit review. And then she moves on to the second section, well, the third section, the teacher research question and strategy. And this section contains both your more refined question that came from your research and how to do the strategy. So here she has what happens when we ask mom to spend time with Harry before leaving. That was a specific strategy she found in her research. And here she details how to implement the strategy. The way I want you to look at this is, how would you instruct someone else to implement the strategy in your classroom? So just some specific details. It's not written as in detail as a SMART goal plan that you'll do for your transformational change project, but just, here's what I want the mom to do, and here's what I'm going to tell her, and here's what I'm going to share with her, and here's, just really specific about how she's going to implement the strategy. And she's broken it down into a few strategies, which is fine and appropriate for her implementation. And then she writes a data collection section, and this is just what kind of data are you going to collect. You want to be a little bit specific here, because what I'm looking at is, how are you going to know if this works? So if you just say, I'm going to do anecdotal records, that is a general data collection strategy, but what are you going to collect? What data are you looking for? In other words, when you implement this, How are you going to know what the impact is? So that's what we're looking for here, and it's really just very brief, but it is specific. And then a brief summary section on what she learned, and then her references are written in APA format. So this is an exemplary example of the teacher research proposal. It is about 7 pages, not even 7 pages long. There you go.